Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rita and today we're gonna be doing this very fresh, clean makeup, and of course it is the very famous all over TikTok, all over YouTube, and on Reels and Instagram, the clean makeup girl. So the whole clean aesthetic. It is something that I've been wanting to film for a very long time. So I already have my hair very sleek in a ponytail. I didn't do this on camera because honestly it's not like a huge science. I just kind of like brushed it, did a ponytail, and used a ton of spray. My hair is like crunchy right now, which I do not like, but I feel like you can't really tell. And unless you touch it, you can't tell that it's crunchy. So that'll be a secret between us. But yeah, this is the makeup. I am so happy with the results. Let's go ahead and see how I got this very beautiful, very clean, honestly very summer and spring ready. It just screams spring and summer for me. I am really loving this. Anyway, let's just get right into the video, and before we start, be sure to hit that red subscribe button and be sure to also ring the bell so you get notified every time that I post, which is gonna be twice a week. Anyway, let's jump right into my skincare is already done. So let's move to the first step, which is going to be priming my face with the Primerizer Water by Smashbox. So now that my face is primed with that primer water, I'm gonna go for a Honey Milk Facial Serum. So this one is technically still a skincare, but it's also used according to the bottle. You can use it as a primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face with this one as well. Just because I want this whole makeup, like the whole clean girl makeup, is about having a flawless base, a very, not even like glowy entirely, but just a very good looking skin, like a very healthy looking skin, if that makes more sense. Now that we've got that very silky serum on, we're gonna go for a second primer. I know it might sound excessive, or really a third one if we count the primer water. So we're gonna apply a little bit of the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm going to also blend it with my fingers. This is going to be the best way of kind of like melting products into your skin and avoiding the makeup to be heavy or too thick. So now with my fingers, just blending this everywhere. I love this product. I mean, I feel like a supermodel on the runway whenever I use it, or like an artist, like a celebrity, whenever makeup artists use this all the time for red carpets. It is really, really beautiful. I'm gonna change things a little bit just because I do want to cover the whiteness in my face like I do with every other makeup. So this is not gonna be an exception. So of course, if you don't have a vitiligo like I do, it'll probably be easier to recreate this clean makeup look. But I'm gonna do it as best as I can, and the whole idea will still remain the same. Just I'll use a little bit more product because, you know, of the whiteness that I'm covering. Okay, so now for foundation, which the whole clean makeup look not necessarily includes foundation. It's just like a very pretty primer to give you a little bit of glow but not too much, and then concealer. But I do want to use a little something for my base just because I feel like my skin right now is not looking its best. So because I'm gonna go for something lighter, I'm gonna use the Tower 28 Sunny Days. I've got mine in the shade 35 Point June, but I'm gonna be using a beauty blender to blend everything, to make everything look even a little more smooth and not heavy. Not like this is heavy at all, but you know, just to kind of like keep on with the whole clean girl and very lightweight makeup. So I'm just gonna apply it basically everywhere, blend a little bit with my fingers, and this is a very beautiful product. It's not even considered a foundation. I believe they call it like a tinted sunscreen or something along those lines. So anyway, I'm blending as best as I can with my fingers, and now I'm gonna move on with my beauty blender and kind of like start bouncing everything around, making sure that everything is nicely blended. Now let's move on with concealer. I'm going to go first with my corrector that I've been using for a while now and I've been really loving. This is the Tarte Colored Clay CC. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit with my finger, and I like to apply this product with my finger because I feel like it blends nicer since, you know, the warmth of your finger with your skin just makes everything easier to blend, and I feel like it looks a little more, I don't know, a little bit more blended compared to using a brush. So I'll just blend it around my eyes. I use this product to remove the excess purpley and almost blue shades of my veins because I don't have any color under there. The veins are very visible, so this just kind of like helps with that discoloration. I'm gonna be using two different concealers. I know it's excessive, but one is gonna be to cover the whiteness around my mouth, and then the other one is going to be to cover the whiteness but also to lift my face. So I love the Fenty concealer to do that. So first, let's go ahead with the Hourglass and apply it just right here where I have the majority of my whiteness, and then a little bit here for the redness. So not too much product, honestly. And I'm gonna go with my Merit brush to blend this. I don't want to use a beauty blender because I do want to conserve as much as I can of the actual coverage. Now let's move on with the Fenty concealer, and I'm going to be using a brush also for that. I'm gonna add a little bit here. As you can tell, it is very brightening. I really love this product for the brightening effect, but it also does a pretty good job at covering the whiteness. So now with a brush, I'm just going to start blending this, and it is super brightening. If you have bad under eye circles like that, dark under eye circles, I strongly suggest you pick this up if you're looking for something to brighten your under eyes, because it has great coverage, but at the same time, look at that. I look super awake. My skin was just like looking very dull today, and it does help a lot. So to cover, you can still see a little bit of the whiteness. I'm gonna go back to the Hourglass concealer and just add a couple of dots on the actual corners, which is where I always have a little bit more of a struggle to match my skin. So just blend that out, and you see how well that blends. Very seamless into the skin. And I still have that kind of like brightened under the eyes, but I also get, with the Hourglass, that coverage. So now I'm just gonna kind of like use this around. Beautiful, I really love it. And now in between steps, I'm about to use my powder, but I always like to use my rose water or any other face spray that you have, just to help the product that you're using to melt together before you even like use the powder or everything that goes next. Ideally, if I want my makeup to last a super long time and it's like a special day or it's gonna be a special makeup, I'll go with the Charlotte Tilbury and use this product in between every single step. So basically, use your primer, use the spray. Put your foundation, put the spray. Concealer, put the spray. This is going to help that every single layer that you're applying to your makeup or to your face is going to last longer, it's not gonna budge, and it's just going to look more flawless and more natural, which is the whole, idea behind the whole clean girl makeup. Okay, so now we are done with concealer. I am really loving it, and let me get a little closer. My skin still looks very flawless, but still at the same time very natural, because the actual base is going to be just that tinted product that we used. So instead of using an actual powder, like I was thinking about using the Charlotte Tilbury, but instead of using this to get a more softer natural makeup, I'm gonna go for one of the powders from Hourglass. This one is from this year's collection, like the holiday collection, and I'm going to just use the finishing powder, and I'm going to apply this around my eyes, which is where I have the concealer, and then a little bit around my mouth and nose area, just to set basically those areas where we did use the concealer. I feel like this, I've seen a lot of videos doing this whole clean makeup look, and very different options of this. Some people use concealer, some people use contour, other people just skip it. I think, personally, I do want a little bit of contour, but it's gonna be super minimal. So I think I'm gonna use this brush instead, like a small stipple brush. And I was considering using Macchiato by Fenty, but I think I'm gonna go for the Charlotte Tilbury so I can be more precise in the areas where I want to use the product. So I honestly do not like the packaging of this. It is very bad and it's very easy to spill and get too much product. So I'm just probably gonna use around that much, and I'm putting it higher, and then just a few dots here around my forehead, and then a few dots also on my chin. So now that we have that, for my chin I am gonna be using this one just because it is a bigger space, a bigger area. With highlight, which if you follow me, you know that I always like to go in that order: first bronzer, then highlight, and then blush. So the blush, I'm sorry, for the reason that I do that is so that the highlight looks like it's peeking through instead of like just stamped in your face. And with this makeup look, it's even, like, to me, even more important to do those kind of steps. So I've got this Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Flaunt, and I'm just going to add it in the back of my hand. I never really use this kind of products directly on my face because I don't want them moving in that concealer that I have underneath. So now I'm going to use my beauty blender, and I'm going to add this in the higher points of my face. Look at how pretty that highlight is. I really love it. Before we move on to the actual blush, I'm gonna go for my brows because I'm going to let them to kind of like dry up. I'm going to use the I forget the name of this, the Anastasia brow frizz, and I'm just going to put my brows up. I barely have any brows, and what they recommend for like the whole clean makeup look is that you keep your brows basically without any product. Just kind of like use a gel or something along these lines to pull them up, but I don't have any brows. So we're gonna do my brows like I normally do. So for now I'm just applying the gel to freeze them up while we continue with the rest of the face. Now let's move on with blush while we leave our brows to freeze. I'm gonna be using one by Merit in the shade Cheeky, which is a little bit of a lighter everyday pink. It's super pretty. For this, I'm gonna go straight with my brush into the product and then apply to my cheeks. So I have this very old random brush that I got from Amazon years and years ago, but it is really good for this kind of more cream blushes. So I'm just going to start kind of like smiling and apply this on the top of the apple of my cheeks, not like too close to my nose, just kind of like here, and then bring it up. This is gonna help lift your face, which is another kind of like another pointer on the whole clean makeup look. Just like if you're like flushing naturally and at the same time somehow your face is lifted, because that's very natural. Let's take a break with the eyes and move on with lips because I feel like I'm looking very dead right now. I'm going to clean off. I had a little bit of this thing, chapstick, Burt's Bee, and I'm just gonna tap a little bit extra. And now I'm gonna go for a lip liner. This one is, has no more tip, but that's fine. This one is by Charlotte Tilbury in the, of course, Pillow Talk shade. I feel like this is, I can't talk, the perfect everyday minimal makeup lip liner. I didn't overline my lips, and of course you can do whatever you want with makeup in general. Anyone can do whatever they want in makeup, but to kind of like get the whole clean makeup aesthetic, the whole point is to look natural and clean. So I feel like if you overline your lips, it's always noticeable, especially like in real life. Like if you overline your lips and then you go out and talk to someone like face to face, I feel like it is very noticeable. So I just outlined my lips. I didn't fill them in because we're gonna go with lipstick in a minute and some lip gloss, because the whole point is to have like very juicy, rosy, pinky tone lips. I do have a couple of lipsticks. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna go for. So now I'll move on back to the brows. I am using my favorite product, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift. So I'm just going to start filling in the brows, just like their natural shape. This next step is another one that some people do, some people don't. I am going to add mine. So I'm going to use a little bit of eyeshadow, and I'm going to go for a more neutral tone brown, not too cool, not too warm. So this one right in the middle. This is from the Camo palette by Natasha Denona, and literally just a little bit to define my crease, just a teensy bit. Nothing too much, and this is literally everything we're going to do for eyeshadows, just to bring a little bit of definition to the eye. We gotta remember that with this makeup look, the whole aesthetic is like basically less is more. Okay, so now for mascara, I do have two right here that are actually both drying up really bad, but I want to use them to kind of like use them up, and also because this one doesn't give me like super volume like I like. This one is the Lash Princess by Essence. It is a good one, but if I don't go too heavy, like using a lot of coats, it gives me a very pretty natural look, which is once again the whole point behind this aesthetic. So look at how little mascara I added, but what a big difference it makes. Usually I like to go very heavy with my mascara, but I'm going to stop myself from doing it this time. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of mascara and also a little bit on the lower lashes. All done. Now let's move on with lips, which I have a couple of colors here that I'm not sure which one to go for. So first off, we've got Go Lightly by Lisa Eldridge, which just looking at it right now, this is definitely not the one. It's a little too bright. Then we have Kitten Mischief, which would also be a very pretty one. I'm indecisive between Kitten Mischief and Millennial by Merit. What do we think? I honestly think that maybe this one is a little more pink, this one is a little more nudie. So I think I'm gonna go for the Merit one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the Merit one. I feel like this would be a little bit better, and this one is in Millennial. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect pink for like a clean and natural look. For the final touch, I need my earrings, which honestly I can never wear earrings while I'm doing my makeup because then they get all dirty. I cannot stand that. So kudos to you if you do your makeup and leave your earrings, because that's just not something that I can do. Okay, so now for the very last step, we have a very juicy pout. So I'm gonna be using this very beautiful light melon pink from Fenty. This one is in the shade Taffy Tease. This one is from a past holiday collection, that's why it's a mini one. So here we have it, you guys. Very light, very minimal. I really like it. It actually, the word clean makeup describes this very perfectly, because I do feel like I have very little bit of makeup, but I feel very put together. As you saw, the amount of products we used were not minimal at all. We used a lot of products, but I just love the end result. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think this is like something I should be doing more often? Even the mascara, that it's just kind of like messing with my head a little bit, because I like a lot of mascara. This is very minimal, but I feel like it still looks very natural. Like my mascara doesn't look like clumpy or too in your face. It just makes my eyes open a little bit and be more awake, but not in like a fake I have a ton of mascara wearing, if that makes sense. But anyway, you guys, here's the final look. Let me know also in the comments down below if you've done this makeup, if you're gonna recreate it, any input you have or any products that you use for this makeup, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Like always, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and be sure to subscribe before you leave. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!